Awesome Artist. So today I'm going to show you how, from our assignment, we're going to click on the AutoDraw link to create your logo digitally. You can also, of course, create it on paper if you'd like, but this is the option to do it digitally. So first we go to the link you'll click on in the assignments link, and it'll be in your Nearpod lesson too. You'll click on AutoDraw and it'll take you to the AutoDraw website. So see a blank piece of paper like this, and you'll see these buttons on the side. So there's a few different things. There's just the draw button where you can just draw with the drawing tool. You can just draw free-form shapes here. If you don't like what you drew, you can undo it. And you can also change the color. You can change the color right here. So you could also change how thick or thin your line is. So like a really thick line, I just move it all the way to the edge. I can make it really thick. So if I want to fill up a lot of space. And once again, if you want to delete it, you can just undo it right there. So the next tool I wanted to show you is text. So a lot of times logos have words in them, like maybe it has your name or something that you like. So here you can write your name. So if I wanted to write my name, I write Haley, if that's part of yours, a part of your logo, and you can move it around to somewhere else on your, wherever you want it in your design, in your logo. And you can also press this button at the top to turn it around sideways or upside down. You can play with that. So that's a cool tool. And you can also press delete if you don't want it. Then there's the fill button where you can fill up the whole background in a color, or you could, if for instance, I'll undo that. If I draw a shape and I wanted to fill it up, I still had my line really thick, but if I wanted to fill up the inside, then and it looks like my fill color is black. Oops, that didn't work. So I'm still learning how to use it too. So it looks like, let's try this again. Let me undo this. I wonder if I use the shape tool. So here's a shape tool. And it looks like once you use the shape tool, I don't think you can move your shape. So let's undo the shapes. I'll make a circle here. Let's see if we use the fill tool, it fills in your shape. That's what I thought. So the shape tool, you can fill in, you can use that paint bucket to fill in your shapes. And we saw the shapes, so there's a option to make a circle, a square, or a triangle. And the last thing I want to show you is I'll undo what I did. There's this cool auto draw at the top. So if you start to draw with your auto draw, then you'll see at the top it says all these icons. So once you use the auto draw, which is like with the magic stars, then you can click in any of these images you see up at the top that you might want to use. So I said I wanted to do maybe something about nature. So here's a shell. I can use a shell, and you can make it bigger. You can do the same thing as I did with my text, and you can turn it around. So maybe I want it sideways. And then if I want to fill it in, maybe I want to use, let's see what color. Maybe I want to use yellow. Let's see what happens if I fill it in. So it looks like it only fills in some of the shell lines. Maybe I want to fill in some of the other parts of my shell with a different color. Because remember, colors are something we're talking about. And in fact, yellow is a warm color. So maybe I want to use another warm color like orange, and I'll fill in that. And then maybe I want to go back to my yellow to finish up the other pieces of the shell. All right, so maybe I have a shell for my design, and maybe, let's see, I'm going to go back to the auto draw, and to see, you think you have to draw a line first, and then let's see what other cool pictures we have at the top. And you might want to take your time and just scroll through, see what they have up there, because you might change your idea from what you originally had if you see what they have. All right, so let's go back. I'll see if I can find one other image to use as part of my logo. And a logo can be very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. So if you wanted your logo to be a shell, then you could do a shell. And maybe you don't find something else on the images up at the top that you like, so you want to go back to the drawing tool. So maybe I just wanted to draw some lines like the ocean around my shell. So I'll go change my color to blue. I'll make my line thinner because my line was really thick. And maybe I just want to make some lines. I don't see an eraser tool, but it looks like if you highlight, if there's a mark that you don't want, if you click on it and highlight it, then you can press delete. So I'm going to go back to drawing. I'm going to work on making lines. We've talked about lines, right? So I've got different squiggle lines. I think I'm going to make some thinner lines too. So I'm going to change, I scrolled down so I made it smaller. And so I'm going to keep adding lines. All right, so I've got adding lines, some wavy lines and kind of curvy lines. Maybe I want to, let's see, what else could I add? Maybe like some, we don't have that, it doesn't look like there are that many color choices, but maybe if I wanted to add, because it's my own creation, if I wanted to add some jellyfish, I could add some jellyfish too as part of my design, because I decided that I really wanted to do something like the ocean. And again, I think I'm going to make my drawing tool a little bit thinner. So here we go. And then maybe I want to put some jellyfish in mine. And jellyfish have lots of different, usually they have lots of, not tentacles, but they have lots of little legs that, I forgot what they call them actually. But this one maybe has too many, but there's lots of different types. So it doesn't have to be based on real life. It could also be based on your imagination. So I've got one jellyfish. Maybe I'll make one more. I think I'll make my tool a little bigger to make the body. It kind of looks like a spider jellyfish. And then I'll go back to the drawing tool. Oh, I'll make my drawing tool thinner. And then I'll add my... Maybe they do call them tentacles for a jellyfish. Maybe this jellyfish only has a few tentacles because my other one had so many. And then, let's see, maybe I want to add spots on my jellyfish. Oh, and we didn't talk about the colors. These are purple and blue. Those are cool colors. So a lot of times when you're thinking about creating a design, you want to think about contrast, like using different types of colors. So maybe I'll put some green, because green is a very different color. So I'll add maybe some like green dots in my jellyfish. And let's see, I'll go back to my drawing tool. And maybe I'll add some green dots in this. And if maybe I decide I don't want all the legs, I'm going to delete some of the legs because there's too many legs. It looks like a spider. So I'm going to delete some of those. And... let's see, I'll take that one off. All right, that's a little better. So I'll add my spots on this jellyfish. Looks a little less like a spider jellyfish now. And all right. So if I decide that that's it, maybe I'll add one more line on the bottom, now that I think about it, just to make it look a little more balanced for the ocean waves. I'll add one more. And I decided I didn't want to put any text in this. Maybe I don't like that line, so I'm going to undo it. Maybe I want it to be just a little bit thinner. All right, there we go. So I think I'm done. I've got my shapes. I've got different shapes in here, and I used the auto draw tool to create a form. It looks like basically when you use shapes, shapes are flat. And a form, the illusion of form. So when I combine these shapes, these shapes combined together, they look like a form, the form of a shell. I also created a jellyfish and used lines, different types of lines to create the ocean water, which kind of makes it look like movement. And that's it. All right, now the last part, once we finish our design, and you see how I didn't use up the whole piece of paper, and that's fine, because for something like a logo, you don't have to, you can make it big or small. It depends on your idea, and you can also fill up the whole page if you'd like. The last part is to save your image. You're going to go to the 3 bars at the top on the left, next to just on top of all the drawing tools. You're going to click on that, and then you'll get this little menu. And if you press download, then you'll see this it's to open a file, and you press OK, and then you should see on your computer the picture, a copy of the image you just created. You can also go to File at the top and save. You can save your image. The other thing, sometimes you might have the option to save as, but then the image you just created should be saved probably on your desktop. It should be somewhere, let's see, AutoDraw. The title was AutoDraw. So if you search in your search bar AutoDraw, then it looks like the image is right there. And you can change the title in your search bar when you find it. So once I see it, I'll put my name, I'll put MUN, I'll put logo, and I'll put what grade I'm in. So maybe grade 2. And then I have it saved. So that way you can save it in your Microsoft Team page in the Files tab, or you could post it on the general channel. All right, and that's it for today. I hope you have a great job. I hope you have fun making your logo.